Party rock! Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I would like to start this video off with a quick shout out to you. Don't take my word for it, but I'm pretty sure this is my 20th video, like official video. And this morning I hit 10,000 total channel views, so I am feeling the love. I really appreciate your support. Thank you for always being here. 2 weeks ago, I posted a video. I'm getting an elbow rest here. There. 2 weeks ago, I posted a video where I walked my service dog on duty versus off duty to show you guys the difference in his behaviors, and the response was overwhelmingly, oh my gosh, how did you teach your dog the difference between the two? So I thought this is a great thing to do as a video. I will just let you guys know my philosophy on dog things, and if we're being completely honest, I decided last night to switch from today's planned video to this one, so I'm gonna just kind of free ball it and talk, and hopefully it works out. So yeah, my arm's already tired, so I'm gonna throw you on the tripod and we can get started with this video. Before I get going, two things. One, if you have not seen the video that I'm talking about, go ahead and click here. I'll throw up a card. Thing number two, I am not a dog trainer. I've never taken any dog training classes. My qualification is that I owner trained my own service dog, but that's literally it. I learned everything that I know from dog trainers that I found on YouTube, and I truly believe that there is no one right way to train your dog. I feel like it's highly individualized, just like with people. Some people are auditory learners and some people are visual learners. I think you just need to pay attention to your dog and what works for them, and so looking at a bunch of different trainers online and learning from them, mashing it all together in a way that worked for Buddy, that method worked really well for me. So again, I'm not a trainer. I don't actually know what I'm talking about, but this is my opinion and this is how we got Buddy trained. Also, I'm pregnant! Yeah! I'm almost 15 weeks, super exciting. I will throw a card up here if you want to see the announcement video. And I also did a video about how Buddy was the very first alert that I got that I was pregnant. He did kind of like a boopy nudge thing. I don't want to spoil too much, but I will put a card for that video here as well. It's still recording. Okay, so training Buddy. There is no question at all that training a dog is not a simple task. And a lot of that is because you're doing this weird interspecies communication thing. So it's a lot of charades and it's a lot of psychology, if you want to think about it that way. If you've been on my channel, you know that I'm a scientist by training. Back when I was able to work, I was a biochemist working in a lab. So I have this scientific brain and I really like to go about things scientifically. So when it was time to train the dog, I was like, okay, how do I communicate with the dog the most effectively? What can I do to keep him happy? What can I do to make it worth it for him? These are all questions that were really important. In order to have clear and consistent expectations for your dog, you need to have those expectations extremely clear in your mind, and the other people who are interacting with your dog also need to know what those expectations are. Let's say I teach Buddy that come means come to me, obviously. If sometimes I say come and he only comes part of the way, or if sometimes I say come and he comes most of the way but he doesn't actually offer me his attention, then he might not actually know what I need and want when I say the word come. He's not gonna have a concrete idea in his little doggy brain of what the word come actually means. The only way he can have that concrete idea is if I'm consistent every single time and I never change the meaning of the word. I feel like that's very obvious, but I wanted to state it for you. Like, the dog doesn't understand as much as humans understand. If you want the dog to know what the command means, and if you want it to be repeatable out in public when the dog is distracted, dog needs to know exactly what the word means. The meaning can't change. And that, my friends, is the mentality that we went into when training him how to be on duty versus off duty, and also how to be on a leash versus not on a leash. Not on a leash, yeah. I'm gonna take that as a perfect take and just pretend that I didn't stutter. I have to go pee again. Right before I started filming this for you guys, I brought Buddy upstairs and I started playing with him, and then I put the leash on him, and then I eventually put his vest on him so that you guys can see, like, actually see with your own eyes how he acts differently in each of the different scenarios. And I didn't take those off of the camera yet, so I'm going to go ahead and pull them off now. I'll watch them here while I continue to record, and then that way I know that I don't miss anything when I'm doing the commentary. So I will be right back in a sec. I'm going to pull these files off, and I'll be right back with ya. Hi. I got all the files off. I'm ready to start filming again. That break ended up being quite eventful. I ate a burrito and then I almost threw it back up because morning sickness also happens in the afternoon. So, but we're back. Hopefully this won't get interrupted again by anything strange. I have the footage of Buddy ready, and instead of putting things in a good order for you guys, please forgive me. I'm just going to present it in the order in which it happened, and that way, most importantly, I can make sure that I actually get this video finished before my migraine hits. So here we go with the first clip. The first rule that I'm demonstrating here is that if I'm holding something in my hand, even if it's something that does belong to Buddy, he's not allowed to just come up and grab it. I do want you to notice, though, that he's paying attention to the bone. He wants the bone, so he looked at the bone. He kind of booped the bone. He kept staring at it and looking at me. Good job. Good boy. Come here. You see? These were his ways of asking whether he could have the bone, but you'll notice one thing he didn't try is just taking it, because it has always been the rule that he's not allowed to take it. Right here I asked him to drop, but then I didn't say anything else. I briefly put the bone back down on the floor. I picked it back up. You'll notice Buddy offered to sit. He offered his full attention, his eye contact, and then he started asking with his eyes, is it okay if I get the bone? Is it okay if I get the bone? But he did wait for me to hand it over to him. In our house, there are no exceptions to the rule. From all the dog watching that I've been doing, trying to train Buddy over the last couple of years, the dogs that seem to be the happiest are the ones who know what the expectations are. They know how they're supposed to act in different scenarios. They know how the human is going to react to any behavior that they do. That stability is what gives them the self-confidence to then explore. It gives them permission to play in certain scenarios so they can truly feel free. And again, just setting that up for them is super important because they can't ask you. The only way they can ask is by breaking the rules. So I didn't want Buddy to feel like he had to do that. A lot of times we do training with treats, but sometimes we do training with toys, where the reward is he gets some playtime, so that's what I'm doing here. When Buddy laid down with the bone, I went ahead and walked around a little bit so that you guys could see that he doesn't pay attention to where I am since he's not attached to a leash and he's not on duty. He knows that he doesn't need to follow me right now. At this point, Buddy went off camera and he laid down in his bed, so I grabbed the leash and of course he came over. Something kind of cute that Buddy does every time we get the leash out is he does this yoga stretch, so you'll see he stretches. He knows that the way to get the leash on him more quickly is for him to sit and give me his attention, so that's exactly what he did. I didn't have to say anything. And then once the leash was hooked on, he just stays there and smiles and is excited for whatever's going on with the leash. And once I start walking, he comes with me. Good boy. Good boy. Notice that when I'm walking and I have him on the leash, he is following me around a lot. He's not staying in a strict heel, he's not staying close to me all the time, and he's still acting very playful. When I grab the bone and shake it a little bit, he doesn't drop it. He knows that I'm not trying to take it. He's just on a leash, so he knows that it's okay to play right now. Come here, we're gonna put drop. Last but not least, I grabbed his vest. I did not tell Buddy to drop the bone. When I was holding the vest and I grabbed the bone, he knew that he was not going to be allowed to have the bone right now, so he gave it over to me freely. Very different from the last couple of clips where when I grabbed the bone, he knew we were playing. Very distinct. Two different dogs. Can we just pause for a sec to appreciate the fact that the second that vest went on, he sat up so proudly. He sat up so tall, like as tall and as chest poofed as he possibly could be. He is so happy to be on duty, and I'm looking down here because my computer's down here. Sorry, I know that's weird. Sorry, guys. Standing up for a long time isn't so great for me. Of course, at this point, I was standing for about 5 minutes, so naturally, some tachycardia came up. The nudging on my hand there is the alert. He alerted me, and then we sat down for DPT and waited for my blood pressure to come back. Cover. Yes, good boy. Good boy. So here's a little compilation of Buddy on duty. I'm doing sort of the same body movements. I'm walking around a little bit randomly, spinning my body, and you'll notice he keeps a lot of attention on me. He keeps eye contact up at me. He stays in that heel for the most part. Of course, he is a service dog, not a service robot, so he did get tripped up at one point trying to turn into the heel again. You'll notice that he completely ignores the toy because he knows that if he touches the toy, he's gonna get a little and I'm gonna tell him, hey, reminder, you're working. I took off his vest and told him that working was all done, and I started walking back and forth just like I was when he was in his heel, and he was looking at me like I was being a little bit strange, but he didn't think that he was supposed to be in a heel, and he didn't think that he was supposed to follow me. He was completely naked. He was off duty. He was off leash. Eventually he got kind of done with my odd behavior. He went off camera, grabbed another toy, and came over to me and invited me to play. Good pups. So again, how did I teach him to do this? It's just consistency. That's all it came down to. If his vest is on, he's not allowed to grab a toy. There has never been an exception to the rule. There never will be an exception to the rule. And you can tell how happy he is knowing that he's following the rules. And as the very last thing that I wanted to show you, obviously there are times that you don't have your service dog's vest. Sometimes it's too hot, or sometimes you were expecting to only go to a pet-friendly place and then you decide that you want to hit the grocery store on the way back. In those sorts of cases, it is important for your dog to also know how to be on duty when they're not wearing their vest. So in this very last clip, I have Buddy just using his leash. I used words to get his on-duty behavior. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble saying stuff because I can't say certain words when Buddy's laying here and I don't want to confuse him, so I'm like dancing around this a little bit. Okay, Bud, come here, heel. I had Buddy on a leash, which of course is the not strict rules, but I was able to get him to do some on-duty behaviors, the heeling and the focusing on me, using words that are commands that aren't telling him that he's on duty. And then since those things went well, instead of rewarding him with a pet or with a treat, which is what I would have to do when he's on duty, I allowed him to go get the toy. As with all dog training things, it's really important that the dog nails it at home and is able to reliably give you the behavior when you're in a setting that's more controlled, that doesn't excite them. Once they're able to do it reliably at home, you can go ahead and try it outside. For example, I do it in our backyard, and then I eventually brought it to around the block. So I would take him on a normal dog walk around the block where he had his leash rules, and then I'd put him on duty and have him do the exact same walk but on duty. And anytime he tried to follow a leash rule instead of an on-duty rule, I'd give him a little you're on duty, and I would use the word because you're on duty, and that seemed to do the trick for him. Consistency was key, lots of praise and lots of pets, and I'm super proud of how much he's been able to figure out. Buddy has just absolutely astonished me with his intelligence. I had no idea that dogs could understand so many different concepts or be so connected to a human, but man, this dog he blows my mind. And that's all I have for you. I hope you had fun with this video. I sure did. Any video that has Buddy involved, I'm pretty much gonna have a good time with. Make sure you leave it a thumbs up if you liked it too. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you later. You guys want to see the man of the hour?